Okay, so I had a message arrive to me through my YouTube recommendations requesting that I speak my truth openly and extemporaneously, and that is what I'm doing. I'm here to continue to send home the message that, I support justice, I support peace, I support the defense of the innocents, I support walking in faith, right? I believe that there are higher powers beyond this earth. You look out at the cosmos, and it doesn't take a genius to understand what the scale of the universe and what astronomy has brought to us, that the likelihood that we are the most advanced civilization, particularly with all of the degeneracy which we see on this earth, is slim to none. Okay? And the spiritual aspect of things could also be on the table, right? I believe it is real, right? There are things that are beyond the basic physical that humans experience. So, I have noticed a lot of interesting headlines coming across the news lately. And I've also noticed quite a few readers out there who are delivering prophetic wisdom, and they seem to be suggesting to me, alongside evidence which I'm examining, I'm reflecting upon my early life and my life growing up, and remembering conversations that I had at points past which had long slipped my mind, and it's like I'm stepping into my destiny here, right? I'm remembering the things which have been long lost, which my mind compartmentalized and placed into long-term storage, and it's like it was lost. It brings about feelings of faith for me. Is it possible that one could more or less direct information into a mind? Who knows? I wouldn't begin to claim to know everything. But what I'm experiencing is what I would describe as divine revelation. It's personal, it's inexplicable, but events are aligning in ways which can't really be explained away otherwise, right? If it were an illusion, it would be a very persistent illusion. So I'm kind of here just to speak truth in that regard. Do good on this earth, and you will reap reward. If you do wickedness, whatever you gain will be lost. I've seen quite a number of crazy crimes which have been on the news lately. It seems like it's been more active than normal. And through these signals which I'm receiving, in conjunction with my own personal awakening and understanding of my life narrative, which was for a period of time lost. I'll admit, I kind of lost myself in the static. But I'm happy to say that I've reclaimed myself, and it is good. It is great. To walk in faith, you gain a greater reward. You need other people to help you in life. Everybody at one point is a baby, an infant, a toddler, and you don't know how to read. You can't feed yourself. You can't be self-sufficient. There's no such thing as self-sufficiency for a child, for a baby, and I would argue even for adults. Even multimillionaires, they might think themselves self-sufficient. Billionaires are like the least self-sufficient people on earth, because they require other people to accept their currency in exchange for labor, right? In exchange for resources, they require other people to accept their currency. So your authority, your power as a wealthy person who spends currency to purchase the lives of others, at least in portion, for their labor hours, okay? You are not self-sufficient. Okay, everything is connected, if only so distantly, right? Unless you are manufacturing all of your own goods, and you'd have to be a wilderness survival expert that catches everything that they eat, right? That procures all of their food stuffs, that manages their own drinking water, right? Like you'd have to build your own shelter. Okay, nobody is self-sufficient by definition. If you participate in the economy, you cannot be self-sufficient. Okay, now I will acknowledge there are degrees of self-sufficiency. Like I understand that, paying your own way, acquiring your own money, but it's important to remember that even if you have a lot of money, you are not self-sufficient, because you depend upon other people in the economy to hoist you up. So, among the greatest sins in my mind is the abuse of authority, to be cruel to subordinates, to be cruel to people who you have no reason to be cruel to, right? And a number of shocking crimes have been going on recently. If you check the news and you really start to sleuth it out, it seems like it's an abnormally active season for, criminals being captured and brought to justice, which is good. That's what we want. That's what I'm praying for, right? We want to see the kingdom of heaven on earth, right? We want God's will done on earth, right? That is the ultimate purpose of things. I am not thrilled at the earth when I look at it. Part of me says that, the earth is a ghetto. It's like if you told me that the ultimate cosmic destiny places earth as a ghetto that other civilizations avoid, I would say that makes sense, actually. I'm rather disappointed in many people's behaviors. However, I feel that it is part of my divine anointment that we remedy this to the maximum capacity on earth, right? I understand that the enemy does exist, that there are people who are against that which is righteous. I saw this one video of a 9 and a 10-year-old are being prosecuted for a brutal attack of a 5-year-old. They raped the 5-year-old and scalped her. They cut off her hair and beat her to the point she was bloodied. This is a 9 and a 10-year-old, right? I got pretty heinous. I was bullied pretty horribly. I don't even know if bully was the right word. I mean, if you have an adult physically attack you to cause injury, is that really bullying? It's something more than bullying, right? It's child abuse. So, from the ages of 4 to 6, they beat me silly and put me on all sorts of drugs and shaved my head and maybe dyed it with color. We don't know. But they definitely shaved my head. They made me look goofy. I went from quite a bright child with a brilliant future that was basically undeniable to looking like a, disordered child that, you understand what I'm trying to say. I've been looking at childhood pictures and piecing together my life. That's what I'm trying to say there, right? And if you really one day we'll publish this. We'll publish this openly. And the story will be made known. I'm still piecing things together. Just to be clear, I've been told that, through channels indirectly that my electronic devices have been hacked, and they've been hacked pretty much my entire life. I kind of understood this implicitly, but I was taking more of an angle that I am a political threat to some individuals, to some organizations. I didn't really consider the intricate betrayal that likely occurred in my early life and in the family unit which I was integrated into. Okay, so it appears that people have been putting on masks and lying about their identities to me my entire life. There are people who essentially robbed my cradle and continued to rob me throughout my life, have been telling all sorts of untruths and seeking to do me harm. Right. And I am trusting in higher authorities to do things to hold these people accountable. At this time, I'm not in communication with any group of people. Not a single person on this earth. I've spent the majority of the last 15 years, well, I don't know about 50, the last decade, maybe a little bit more than a decade, I've been more or less alone, leveling up my own skills online, right? Keeping to myself. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but more or less everything I do alone, right? I don't lean on other people. I don't need other people to, give me a sense of self-worth, right? And I've been made aware that I'm being attacked by a group of people, although to me it's completely invisible. It's as if nothing happens. As you can see here, there is not a single viewer, there is not a single chatter in my live stream, right? I'm sitting in my room, and as you can see, I've been recording for 8 hours and 26 minutes, but I've only been live for 11 minutes. I don't post my videos anywhere these days because I was censored on so many different social media platforms. It's not even funny, right? I currently have, 2 pending cases as well, which are illegitimate, that have been brought against me. And I'm not bowing down. I'm not bowing out. I've been informed through the grapevine, indirectly, of a great number of shocking details about things. And thinking back to the time when I requested divination many years ago, over a decade ago, okay? I am beginning to realize things. I'm beginning to remember things. I'm beginning to remember very important things, right? So I know who I am, okay? And it's almost like more is showing up every day. Like everywhere I look, every video I watch, I remember something new. Every picture I look at, I remember something new. Every document I read, something new comes up. And I know that there's a grand plot. I'm not entirely in the know on all details, but I have confidence that there are divine authorities which are looking out for me. So I would encourage everybody to recognize whatever energies may be attacking me for what they are. There are people who have been imitating me on social media. They've been stealing from me. They've been attempting to copy my essence. They've been taking my ideas, my rants, which I have been giving freely for years, openly, not freely, openly on the internet, okay? Imagine not having a single view or comment or response, save that of maybe 1 or 2, over a 3-year to 4-year window of openly posting streams and videos on a daily basis. Whenever I do, maybe I try for a month or 2, then I give up, and then I try something else. I change up the strategy. I come back, I stream for a month or 2, that doesn't work, I try again. I go to a different platform. I reinstall my operating system. I reconfigure the network, right? I use a different machine. I've been doing all sorts of stuff, okay? I'm a highly qualified applicant for all sort of jobs as well, and my job searches have been mostly just ghosting. I get ghosted, right? Suspicious text messages coming my way. People, something I've read said that somebody hacked my Cash App account. If you ever sent me anything through Cash App, I never received it. I posted a video on this channel that was edited about my travels in 2023, and I posted a whole series of crypto addresses and a Cash App address and a GoFundMe and all these other different things. As far as I'm aware, I never received a dime. And if anybody ever sent anything, I did not receive it. Okay? So that is what I wanted to make known here. I was kind of prompted through, a video recommendation which said, go speak publicly now. And that's what I'm doing. I'm speaking publicly now. Whatever attack comes my way, right? Know that it is because maybe some people are not clued in. They don't have a financial incentive. They're just joining because that's the direction that things go. But they're after me because I am worth an inordinate amount of money. And it has been thieved from me. There's been all sorts of unusually complex plots that have been circulating me in my life. Okay? And I'm standing and I won't back down, right? I'll face you directly, confront you directly. I have nothing to hide. I have done nothing wrong. I do not harm others. I wish to see good in this world. I'm kind in interactions, even with strangers, so long as I'm not being abused, so long as I'm not being stalked, so long as I'm not being stolen from. Okay? You may have had me for a little bit in a state of unawareness, in a state of suffering. But I suffer no more because I realize the enemy for what they are. I realize the enemy for what they have done. I understand that I am living through an extraordinary destiny, and I am not worried in the slightest because I genuinely feel the protection of God over my life. I do not doubt it for a second that there are good people out there who are sticking up for me and doing the right thing. I found evidence of serial fraud surrounding my life, other people committing serial fraud against me, and I am being told through the grapevine that there is way more than what I even know about. There are things going on which are beyond my knowledge, right? And when I think back to the discussions I had back when I did ask for this sort of divine revelation, I sort of kicked the tires, so to speak, of the universe. I was worried that perhaps my time was running short. I had a very simple operation, but yet anybody going under anesthesia, if you've ever had that experience, you will have a mortal confrontation with your death, right? You will have a brush with your mortality because you simply do not know what will happen whenever you go under anesthesia. You just simply do not know. And in the lead up to this, I was very confrontational in a public channel, discussing all sorts of theories of, life, the universe, all sort of different philosophies. And people said things to me which I had largely forgotten. But now that I see everything converging, okay, it's jogging my memory in a way that is inexplicable. It's a personal experience, which is really non-transferable. If I try to explain it, it will just sound weird. But trust me when I say, at a minimum, people are organizing around our discussion from way back around 2007, 8. I don't remember the year precisely. Okay. And there are things which are manifesting, which are coming true now, which we had discussed back then. So I don't really need to divulge anymore. I don't have to explain myself, and so I won't, right? I'll leave some things to be mysterious and open-ended. To completely explain myself, I would probably just, incur more doubters, okay? But for those that know, for those that are aware of what the plot is, they know that I'm speaking the truth. They know that I am the real deal, okay? Woe to ye that would do wicked things, bless all ye that would do good, that would protect innocence, that would seek to bring God's kingdom onto the earth. I'm with you 100%. I have so many things to say. I have so much that is happening internally in terms of understanding my life narrative, understanding the things that happened around me. You know, it will one day be compiled and released in a format which is accessible, that tells the entire narrative in full scope. But for now, I am leaning on to the faith and the understanding that there are divine righteous authorities which are watching my computer, watching my internet connections, watching my phones, and they're watching the phones of others. They're watching the internet connections of others. They're aware of the people who are monitoring me, and they're monitoring them on my behalf. So I would recommend that you do good, that you repent from any wicked thing that you've been a part of, and that you know that justice is upon us. Justice is here. We see evidence of it in the news cycle now. We can feel the energy shifting from one of compulsion and fear-based rule to one of compassion and accountability, right? So we have compassion for the suffering, we have compassion for the innocent, we have compassion for the disadvantaged, and we have scorn for those who are doing these wicked things to these innocent people. We support truth, honesty, integrity, all of the virtues, none of the vices, right? And I am stepping into the full weight of my destiny. It is an ongoing process. And if people are seeking to mock me, just know that there is a very, very, very direct and lucrative incentive for them to do so, right? And I don't even see the attacks. I know they're occurring because I'm being told through the grapevine, through these different signals. But I don't see these attacks, maybe small inklings here and there, okay? But I don't even care, right? If you're attacking me, just know that you're being directed to do so by people who are financially incentivized to mischaracterize me, to malign my character, to malign my nature. And I have spent a life in, I was abused quite seriously as a very young child. And I spent my life in large part in isolation, even whenever I wasn't in isolation, even whenever I was going through school and I was around people and I spoke to people. I got along with my classmates. I knew everybody in my high school. I wouldn't necessarily say that everybody was my friend or that everybody liked me or that I liked everybody, but it was how it was. Even then, I was largely isolated in a crowded room because I am walking a different walk of life than most people. There has been incalculable fortune which has been taken from me. Incalculable, non-tangible fortune in life, lived a life experience which has been deprived of me. But that's okay, because this is part of the divine plan, right? I am your target so that you can reveal yourselves, and we have everything we need, and the right people know. So that is my message to you. Be good, do good, want good for others, repent from your sins, be genuinely good people. I am going to do everything I can to bring a higher degree of order, a higher degree of accountability. I want people not to suffer. I would not be the sort of person to suspend food benefits. Perhaps we should rework the system. Perhaps there are flaws in the system. I don't know what it be that we need to do. I don't claim to have all the answers. But as far as God's will, God's kingdom on earth, heaven on earth, that's what we want. We want to bring the best possible system to be as it will be, and that is not to glorify me, it's to glorify God. It's to glorify order. It's to glorify virtues, right? I have more than my fair share of flaws, and I will readily acknowledge that. But ultimately, none of my flaws are in the victimization of others. Fundamentally, I do not victimize people. It is not my goal to victimize people. I do not engage in schadenfreude in that way. Right? On a personal level, I do not attack people. I don't support those who do attack people. I am working through a great deal of negative energy being thrown my direction, and this started as a toddler, if not an infant. So understand who I am, where I'm coming from, what I'm up against, what I'm about. Imagine being beaten as a 4-year-old, physically by an adult. Imagine, having people shave your hair and then keep it in a jar to hex you. Imagine people lying about your identity to try to steal your inheritance. Right? These are the sort of things which I have been living through. And I will persist despite this. The right people know. The right people are on my side. And the victory is not mine alone. It's for everybody. It's a victory for order and stability. If you knew that somebody were robbed, envy versus jealousy. You might be jealous of somebody because they have a good thing going for themselves. You might say, I need to be more like that person, and then work to improve yourself. Because you are jealous of what they have, you want to work to achieve it. But envy is seeking to steal from another what they have because you want it. So I want my own. And everybody should want their own. Nobody should seek to steal from another what they have because they want it. They should go find their own if they desire that thing that that person possesses.